There's starting to become a little bit of redundancy here when it comes to every time that I play a game and I find myself enjoying it or really, really liking it or loving it. I come to find that, the journalists and the media outlets, and I mean, lo and behold, the Metacritic, whenever they give a rating, people tend to flock to that as if that's the absolute gospel. And here we are with Battlefield 2042, which is a game, for someone like me who's a Battlefield veteran, I absolutely love it. And I think it's a really great game that, unfortunately, because it's being review bombed on Steam and it's being review bombed by journalists and such, it's not getting a fair shake. And a lot of people are probably not going to try it just because of that. And that's unfortunate. It's a really good game. I'm finding myself going against the grain because I'm liking something that the media is not. But well, here we go again. Here's my review of Battlefield 2042. Again, going against the grain. Let's get into it.
This wasn't written with your comfort in mind. Nah. Made my decision, wasn't tough to decide. Nah. Me and my boys, we get it done every time. Gotta earn it, you can't just jump in the line. You'll get rushed to the side. I top my division, I've been building since I started. In the parking lot, I parked it. I came in while picking targets. My career cannot be tarnished. I'm a champion regardless. Celebrate, but this a different kind of lucha party. We are not alike.
Before we kick this video off, I want to give a huge shout out to EA for providing a review copy of Battlefield 2042, both for PlayStation 5 as well as for the Xbox Series X and S, as well as, it's also the dual combo pack because it comes with the Xbox One version as well as the PlayStation 5 version coming with the PlayStation 4 version. So all that being said, we're going to be diving into that and so much more because there's a lot that I have to say about this game. I really enjoy it, and it's just really unfortunate that so many people may not really dive into this game because of everything they're hearing. The journalists don't help, Steam, review bombing doesn't help, and Lord help me, I'm trying to go against Metacritic. That doesn't help at all. But, I just really want to give this game a fair shake and just give you my impressions as someone who's been with the Battlefield franchise since Battlefield 1942. And I think I'm going to come at this with a different perspective because, as someone who plays both this and Call of Duty, I can appreciate them both for being very separate, different, takes on the shooter genre, but also respect them for being great in their own individual ways without needing to be the exact carbon copy of one another. And, if you're looking at picking up Vanguard or looking at picking up this, you're going to get two very different experiences, but they're great nonetheless. And I think they're ones that you should definitely check out. But all that being said, if you're new to the channel, make sure you sub, hit the like button, share the video around, if you think someone might enjoy this, and I definitely think you should share it around. Also, if you want to support what we do, we got channel memberships, we got Patreon, we got merch over on Teespring and TeePublic as well. And if you want to pick up this game, I have affiliate links down below to get that as well. All that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the review of Battlefield 2042. Battlefield 2042 is a multiplayer-focused game only, and it's online only, and it's, we haven't seen anything like this since Battlefield 2042 back in 2006. Given that this is marketed as a multiplayer online-only game, you wouldn't think that it has a plot to it and isn't just some, offshoot entry, as this game is set in the same timeline as Battlefield 3 and 4 and features the rights of the no-pats or non-patrioted, who are people who have been displaced by governments and societies and must band together. Gameplay. If you're going into this game with the idea that you're going to be able to play a campaign mode and the multiplayer be optional, then you're going to be disappointed because this game is an online-only multiplayer game like what Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was, except for this putting you in a massive sandbox that's fully customizable for the most part, covering maps from the entire Battlefield franchise almost. You have access to 3 different modes to choose from, such as All-Out Warfare, Battlefield Hazard Zone, and Battlefield Portal. In All-Out Warfare mode, you'll be jumping into battles with 128 other players on teams of 64 players, grouped into various squads, with each team fighting it out on massive maps. Upon entering a map, you will be added to a 4-person squad with a squad leader, and you'll need to work with other teams to capture and secure points, defend captured points, and so much more. Battlefield Hazard Zone is a challenge-focused mode set in the maps used for all-out warfare, with you being assigned to a squad needing to use the intel scanner to secure data drives and the ones held by enemies. Additional drives will appear due to falling satellites, and after securing some drives, a CV-38 Condor will arrive to extract whichever squad will make contact with it, and a second CV-38 Condor will show up to do a final extraction. You only have a limited number of times that you can be revived, so you'll need to watch your sticks and stay alive. Battlefield Portal allows you to create custom matches with varying options that you can share your customized sandbox with the community. This mode allows you to experience the content from all-out warfare mode while also having the maps from that and previous Battlefield games like 1942, 3, and Bad Company 2, and acts in a way as Battlefield's answer to Call of Duty's Warzone. You'll need to select from 10 different specialists that fit into several classes from Assault, Recon, Medic, and more, along with you needing to select or customize your loadouts, weapons, and gear customizing, as well as your vehicle selection and customization and drones. You can customize your specialists to utilize any of the customizations you've made, or you can use the default loadouts. Also available to customize is the outfits and accessories that your specialist wears. These can be unlocked in-game with progression or by purchasing from the store. Okay, so now how does the game play? It plays like a standard FPS, or if you've been, privy to playing previous Battlefield games such as 3 and 4, then you'll have no issues adjusting to this game's controls. You have your standard movement and sprint, crouch, prone, crouch slide, jump, ADS or aim down sights, hip fire, weapon swap, frag throw, special item usage, and your D-pad allows you for usage of accessories. Given how massive the maps are, there are several methods of traversal, such as ATVs, tanks, planes, and even helicopters. If you're used to how most modern shooters are, such as COD, then you'll need to readjust how you play, as this game has bullet drop, which means if you're shooting, then you'll need to factor in how a bullet will land, especially when you have to deal with such items such as gravity and weather effects, along with distance and more. So keep that in mind. This is truly a game for those who love all-out large-scale battles, and if you're looking for that, then this will not disappoint. And what's more is that this is cross-platform play, which means you'll be playing this with folks who are playing this on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, which is amazing and the true feature of online multiplayer gaming. Graphics. This game is visually stunning. I was amazed at how good Call of Duty Vanguard looked with it taking that franchise to a whole new level, and then I get to see how this game has evolved the Battlefield franchise beyond what it had already done in Battlefields 1 and 5, which is saying a lot given that the Battlefield series has always pushed their games to have the most realistic graphics at the times of their release to immerse you in the world and war that each title takes place in. Character models are so well detailed and animated that there were times I forgot that I was looking at a video game, especially for specialists like Captain Kimball Irish Graves, who returns from Battlefield 4 and is reprised by the late Michael Kenneth Williams. Everything from the fabric of their clothing and details in their faces and hair, all the way down to the muscle reflection, is absolutely insanely detailed and puts the models in Call of Duty Vanguard to shame. The environments and the maps all showcase what it looks like to be on a war zone, which will have the buildings crumbling to an extent. It's not as fully destructible as the previous Battlefields, but you'll see destruction happen nonetheless, and while also having wear and tear on them. And you'll also see ships and vehicles all looking like they've been put through the ringer, especially land vehicles showcasing not only damage but also dirt and grime, as do other steel and metal structures that you'll come across. All the weapons look as they would in real life and have markings and wear from being used in war. And if you were just to, take a step back in the middle of gameplay and look at the environments that you're in, then you see the insane level of detail all happening in front of you and how beautiful this war looks. Even though war is, there's no beauty in it at all. Audio. With the few instances where you do hear music, it all sounds very patriotic and can make you feel accomplished or proud of your service in the game on the battlefield. Outside of that, there isn't much to mention when it comes to music. There's also voice acting, which is limited to occasions outside of grunts and yells and various quips. It does sound all really good from what is there. The real meat and potatoes of sound in a Battlefield game is the sounds of gunfire, explosions, and vehicles. And I'm happy to say that it all sounds incredibly good and immersive, especially if you've got the sound system set up for a good pair of headphones, as the soundstage is insane, allowing you to hear everything from the sounds of the bullets zipping past you to the footsteps approaching and conflicts in the background. It's all pretty amazing. Alright, now let's dive into the downsides. As much as I do love the Battlefield series and as much as I do love this game, I have to be honest in the fact that this game has launched in a state that could have used maybe another month or so of polish in the oven. I say that because many have reported various bugs and glitches when playing the game, such as falling through the floor, random spawning, getting stuck in vehicles and obstacles, hit detection being off. Of all those complaints, the only thing I can say I personally run into is the issues with the hit detection being off, and my shots not registering, such as clear headshots or point-blank shotgun shots. This leads to me often feeling like it's either my aiming is off or my internet connection is not good, and then I'll find out by experimenting with shooting a prone enemy that the shots either don't register or will not take as much damage, which leads to some skirmishes feeling like they're very, very frustrating when they don't need to be. The other downside I have to bring up is that the UI or user interface is incredibly confusing, even for a Battlefield veteran like myself. It took a while for me to get used to where everything was and how to figure out how to go, about customizing my specialists and my weapons and more. And that's just in the game menus. During combat, it's even more confusing trying to figure out what the icons are meant to represent, because the neon overlay can get terribly blended into the chaos of the battlefield. The last issue I want to mention is the fact that there's no method to check the leaderboards and matches to see where you are in ranking in the battle, which is insane for any multiplayer first-person shooter within the last 20 plus years. Why it's not in this game makes no sense at all to me, and I hope at some point that they do add it into the game. I could also complain about other reviewers covering the game who don't play Battlefield or expect it to play the same as Call of Duty. But, that's going to be kind of petty, and I don't, even though I am kind of petty at times, I'm not really going to dive into that. It's just, let's be honest, when it comes to modern video game journalism, let's look at the Cuphead situation from a couple years back, and that's kind of the basis for a lot of journalists out there. Not very high of a bar, not very much reaching that high, so keep that in mind. The wrap-up. Battlefield 2042 is a game that to me is one of the best shooters of the year, and yet is mired by negative press from gaming journalists which seem to want a simple Call of Duty experience, which is not something you'll get here. This game offers a lot to players, and it offers a lot of layers of depth, and it gives you a greater alternative to the typical Call of Duty game. It offers you so much more in the way of customization of the maps and match types, along with giving you a great feeling of accomplishment for a hard-fought battle won. If you're willing to take the time and invest into learning the intricacies of the system and the gameplay flow, then you're going to find a game that has a lot to offer and will be one that you'll be coming back to for years to come. Battlefield 2042 is the thinking man's shooter, and a game that I think you shouldn't pass up on or sleep on. And there you have it. That's the review for Battlefield 2042. Again, shout out to EA for providing a review copy of this game for both next generation platforms. Very, very grateful overall. And honestly, I really had a lot of fun with this title. I think you guys would enjoy it too. I know there's a lot of negative press out with this game. And, I really have to stress, if anyone has played a Battlefield game before, and I know that this should not be the case, but more often than not, it is the case. It's a situation where a game, take for instance Battlefield 4, which was really rough at launch and then went on to become one of the greatest entries in the franchise. And I think Battlefield 2042 will be another title that's very high up there, especially with the, Battlefield Portal and, all the different things that you can do within that mode, and with them adding more and more stuff to it as the time goes on. But what do you guys think of Battlefield 2042? Do you have it? Is it something you're looking to pick up? Whatever your thoughts are, let's go ahead and get the conversation going in the comment section below. And if you want to take the conversation further, we do have Discord as well as Guilded, with links for those in the description down below. If you want to pick up this game, I will have links for that down below as well. And also, if you want to support what we do, we got merch over on Teespring and TeePublic, as well as Patreon and channel memberships. All that is linked down below. All that being said, I hope to see you guys in the next review. Deuces wild, too sweet, be the elite. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Mahalo for making it to the end of the video. And if you found anything of importance or substance that you gained from watching this, make sure you leave a comment down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, make sure you sub to the channel and ding the notification bell. That way you stay up to date on all the content that you get from my channel, from podcasts, streams, reviews, impressions, reactions, and so much more. If you want to support what we do have channel memberships. We've got Patreon, we've got Subscribestar, as well as coffee, which I would love to be drinking some coffee right now, which I am. That's some good coffee. But anyway, we got all of that, and we also have merch on Teespring and TeePublic, so make sure you go check that out. And all that being said, I just hope to see you in the next video that I put out. So hey, see you around.